Greetings. I might have just made a huge mistake. I've bought an inkjet printer. Not just any inkjet, a Canon inkjet from 25 years ago. Small size, big printing performance, just what you want in your BJC 2000 color bubble jet printer from 1999. Yeah, this is, like I said, a quarter century old. It's silly to even buy a color inkjet printer nowadays because it's pretty much a ripoff, especially with ink. But to get one from the late 90s, I don't know what I was thinking. I just can't help myself. I see the right type of listing on eBay sometimes, and just like, yeah, it's in the box. Supposedly it worked, or it's in decent-ish condition. The seller had never used it, at least. I don't know if I'd call it new, but decently intact inside. I mean, I really just wanted to grab something like this to have something to pair with my desktop computers of the time period. I have a lot of late 90s machines. I do retrospectives on those, and I sometimes just want a fitting printer to go alongside of it. Well, I have a lot of dot matrix printers, and I have thermal printers, and I even have some other inkjets, but they're either too new and don't look right with older systems, or USB only and I want parallel, or something's just broken and stupid because they're printers. And you know, I don't expect this to be a great one. In fact, it seems like it probably isn't from what I've looked up really briefly, but I was trying to see if bubble jet is any different than inkjet, or if it's just some Canon trademarked version of inkjet, and that kind of seems like that's what it is, but some other conflicting information online said, oh no, it is different, and it led me to this video on YouTube from 2003 that is just a delight. It is so oddly narrated. It's like the G-Man from Half-Life is talking about color printing. Take a listen to some of this.
New bubble jet printer technology aims for the ideal combination of digital photo printing capabilities, enhanced photo image quality, and high-speed printing performance. Precise, smooth and natural, realistic photo image quality. Canon's new microfine droplet technology positions the heaters directly above the ink ejection opening.
I've heard some odd sounding tech video narrations, but that's a special one. Anyway, a bit of a gem there on YouTube. Yeah, let's just see a little bit more about this real quick, dive into some context. For that kind of thing, I always start with some Google books here, and there's a scan of PC Magazine, November 2nd, 1999. They have a personal printers review shootout with all kinds of different options for different things, and the BJC 2000 is all the way down there at the low speed, low quality end. You know, you got something like the BJC 6000 with its individual ink tanks and higher quality, bleh, and then we just keep on going. Eventually we'll get to our piece of crap BJ variant. BJC 2000's $70. Text quality was excellent, photo quality good, overall speed poor. They give it a D reliability grade. Well, at least it's not the very worst. The BJC 1000, here we go. BJC 1000 and 2000 offer virtually identical setup and drivers, but the printers use different cartridges. Both offer a choice among standard, photo, and neon fluorescent inks. I had never heard of that. And yeah, I looked that up real quick too, and apparently fluorescent inks were a thing. Maybe they still are, I don't know, but blacklight affected inks that you can just print out, it's pretty cool. Remember those like velvety felt blacklight posters you get at Spencer's or whatever? I used to love those. Anyway, comes with Canon Creative. Another reason I wanted to grab this, not because of that specifically, but I did have a version of that in our computer we got in late 1997. It was a Canon BJC, I want to say it's a 4300 maybe. It's kind of reminded me of like a cheaper version of that. Which on that note, the ink cartridges for this were $22 for one color one and $8.25 for a black one. And you get about 44 pages per cartridge, like 50 cents per page. Yeesh, and then basically double that for inflation. But this right here is another reason I want to pick this up. Canon also sells a scanning cartridge option for $19 to let the BJC 2000 in particular double as a scanner, something that they do mention right here on there. Instantly becomes a color sheet-fed scanner with the optional IS-22 color image cartridge. And you know what? I had to. So yeah, this ink cartridge is not an ink cartridge, it's a scanner cartridge. And it basically, yeah, just goes, instead of doing ink, It's looking at whatever you run through it and then scanning one page at a time, which very much reminds me of the Image Writer 2 from Apple back in the day. It's a dot matrix printer, and you could grab the Thunder Scan module for that. And I have that stuff too. I just haven't gotten around to setting that up yet. I'll probably make that an oddware video because that seems even more unusual to have that in the 80s. And then really kind of the final reason I wanted to grab this is because you can still get the ink cartridges, the BCI 21s, very easily. I just grabbed these on, I think it's just Amazon. They're just readily available in all kinds of places, but that seemed to be the easiest and pretty affordable. And yeah, BCI 21, it's the same type of cartridge that my old Canon used in 1997-98. Also found this amusing. The press reviews weren't exactly glowing, but my goodness, the customer reviews, they're pretty much all negative. So this person, April 2000, said as 100% rebate would not suffice, the worst printer they've ever seen. So I'm gonna open this up, try to set it up and see if it works. It actually has some original cartridges in here. Yeah, that brings back memories, those exact stickers. No way, I forgot about this. Yeah, the ink cartridge holder. That's nuts. We have this on our desk from like late 1997 to probably 2007. Some trays, sealed user's manual. There's a lot of unused looking stuff in here. Got a power cable, extend your Canon service for all that's worth. And there we go. Canon Creative Home. Look at that. Here's how to quick start the printer. Plug it in and do stuff. I don't know if this is parallel or USB. I don't remember. Pretty sure it'd have to be parallel, right? Because we've got Windows 3.1 drivers. Yeah, that does not look used. Wow. So there's the parallel. Have to go grab one of those cables from the dungeon of cable storage. But yeah, check that out. That is a compact little thing indeed. Might be a piece of junk, but feels special right now. Nice. Yeah. Well, isn't that just a delightful 90s thing? Speaking purely aesthetically, of course. You know what? I'm gonna try the originals just to see if somehow they hold up. That would be incredible if they do. Plus, I think we have to get the little, yeah, the little storage cradle anyway out of here. Oh, shouldn't have smelled that. Ooh, that's gonna give me a bit of a head rush. Oh my goodness. The air, the aroma is extremely pungent. So, I mean, that still looks very inky. That might be all right. Let me double check the manual. Put it in there. Yeah, press the blue lock lever down. I remember there being a little... Oh, I bet that's in the... Sure. Well, all right. I am going to go and find a cable really quick and get it plugged into a Windows 95 or 98 PC. I don't know. We'll try 95 first. See how that goes. I'm oddly excited for a 25-year-old inkjet. All right. That is a good sign. Congratulations on purchasing your printer. It only took you 25 years to install this. All right, taking bets right now to see if this actually works. Test page. All right, so it says cartridge is not in there correctly. I mean, is there more to this? Is there some other part we're missing? A BJ cartridge error has occurred. Install it properly and close the front cover. Well, that tells me nothing. Install it properly. I mean, there are other parts in here, right? But it doesn't say anywhere that I can find where to put these things. Yeah, it straight up doesn't say anything about putting these extra pieces in there. Yeah, there's like springs and things popping out of here. Oh, what the heck? I can see what's supposed to be happening, but this piece won't go in there. It's supposed to like go into a point and then snap, it looks like. Yeah, it's not going in far enough at all. Like there's not enough space or something. This spring, like it gets in there, sometimes it'll hold, but it'll just, yeah, pop right through like that. So I can't get the pressure to both get that on there and then get this on top of it. I went through the service manual. It is not mentioned at all in here. So I think maybe this is like something was wrong from the factory. Maybe this is a refurb or a return unit or something. But here's the issue. This little piece with nothing else in place, it will snap in there. But you see how easy it comes off? It'll hold in place with this, but it's not getting any pressure. It's not really bringing it together. When you add the spring that it needs to pull everything together, it just does not hold in place at all. The hole is too worn, or like this part is just not holding in place. I don't know, something is off by just the tiniest little bit. Yeah, it doesn't matter what I do to the spring. This piece is not gonna hold in place. It's too flimsy. And yeah, I have looked it up to see if there is a 3D printable version of this. I would just try that, but no, haven't found that at all. Haven't found really anything for this BJC 2000 or related printers. And I don't have the skills or the will to do it myself. Yeah, every time, same stupid error message, which doesn't actually say what the error is. A problem has occurred. Unplug it, plug it back in. If not, send it to Canon. I should. In a big bag of shit. What? Well, it actually started pulling in paper that time. Now it says an error again. What is it? I wish it would tell me. Let's try one of these new cards. I don't even know. What? No, don't do that. Take that out of there. I don't even know. It's doing it again. It doesn't think it's closed, but it is. So basically, I just start tweaking this little spring. For whatever reason, that'll do it. No, it just doesn't. It just says generic error. It doesn't mean anything. Service call required. I wanted an authentic 90s printer experience. I guess I got it. You know, I don't know what I expected. Anyway, so this is like 3 weeks later. Things have happened since then. I kind of got desperate and actually ordered another one of these. Well, not this one, BJC 4000, which is compatible with the same ink cartridges. And guess what? The problem inside is exactly the same on that one. I didn't record it because honestly it was so frustrating. It appeared just like a couple days later after recording the last sections, and I was just honestly pissed off. So I threw that in the trash. About to throw this in the trash, or at least salvage it for parts, and I did an even stupider thing. I bought another one for some reason. You know what? This is literally the definition of insanity, I think, in terms of doing the same crap over and over and expecting or hoping for a different result. But this one was tested working. I do know that it at least receives power, but that's it. So yeah, if the past two BJC printers in this series are any indication, that problem is pretty annoyingly normal, with this lever not holding in place due to that black piece of plastic being pushed out by the spring. This appears to be intact in this one for the moment. Yeah, it feels loose. It feels like it could pop off at any time, but for the moment it's holding in place and it's already got its cradle in there. I just need to hopefully just swap out those ink carts. These are the new old stock ones that the other one came with. that I don't even know if they're good or not, but we'll see. See, this is what the other one wasn't doing. I mean, it was doing it sometimes when I cranked it in place, but let's see if this actually does what it's supposed to. It at least goes in the spot that it's supposed to. So, it is detected in Windows 95, but so is the other one. So, at least it's not throwing up any errors. Let's just do test print. Yes, start printing. What was that? I didn't put up any errors that time, but it also didn't print anything. Well, perhaps the nozzles are just gross, so let's try the head cleaning. I don't know what that did, but let's just print a test file here. Some plain text. Yeah, it must just be gunked up or dirty, or the carts just don't have ink in them. I mean, it's still pretty inky, you know. Maybe you can try it in just black. Nah, nothing at all. All right, let's just try these actual newly manufactured ones. See how that goes. If not, I guess I'll just have to try and take that out of there without it breaking. Straight up nothing. It's just gotta be a dirty head, right? Don't want to do this. I feel like I'm taking the plutonium out of the DeLorean. Okay, that doesn't look great. Yeah, look at that. All this gunk can just... Okay. Nozzle check pattern. Nothing. It could just be like the little pads themselves that soak up the ink inside there, and I think if you add a little bit of water or something, I'll look it up real quick, but I think you can re-moisturize. I remember doing these kind of things back in the day, especially years later, or, you know, after having the printer for however long we had it, and stuff gets gunked up and dries out and all that. We don't use it for a while. Hey, there was a little bit of something there. A little bit of something, just a little bit. I bet if we just let it print a whole big page, it's just these little bits of ink. Because if we can just get the ink flowing out of these cartridges, I think we'd be all right. It's wanting to print, despite its nature of being junk. All right, just using water. Ooh, yeah, oh my goodness. All kinds of dry ink. Yeah, all right. That's clean, much as I can anyway, without completely soaking the outside. It could be dried up inside too. There's that little well that it goes into. So if this doesn't work, I do somewhere. Yeah, this is from the one that was new looking. Maybe this has never been used. I don't think it has. Nope. So let's try this other magazine or whatever you call it. This ink holster. Oh man, nah, nothing. So that is with the new one of these thingies and the actual new ink cartridges, newly manufactured anyway, which should be the best case scenario, and it's just not doing anything. We've removed all obstacles. There's nothing down the bottom of there. This is it. This is the whole thing. It's definitely really inky though, right? It's possible that this one that looked new actually was. And like I said, because it was missing those parts, it seems like it was perhaps a refurb or something that got returned because it wasn't working. And then just put it in his box for, 20 years and then sold to some sucker YouTuber on eBay decades later. I'm just gonna let this run through a bunch of tests. This is just a full color, full page bitmap. just dumping ink through there. So it's either gonna clog like crazy or it's eventually gonna come through. Kind of a Hail Mary, or Hail Satan. Little signs of life, inky life. Yeah, like little bits of blue. This right here is what I'm printing, by the way, or attempting to. It could be that only the blue portion of this is unclogged. You can kind of see in there's like 3 little pads. One for each of the color and then one over here for black. All right, well, we're getting some magenta coming through there. So we have blue and magenta, or cyan and magenta. The yellow, I guess, isn't coming through at all. Maybe the black as well, because this is supposed to be kind of spotted with a black texture. Again, compared to this image here. Even if I do get it fixed, this feels so flimsy and like prone to breaking, failing, dying at any time. Would it even be worth getting to work? Because the idea is that I could get a nice little printer set up for 90s machines to leave it set up with them and use them in different videos, but I wouldn't even want to use this even if it did work all the time. So I don't know what I'm doing. If anybody has a recommendation of like a, I guess a laser printer from the 90s with a nice 90s beige aesthetic that's not an Apple one and you can actually get toner for it still, in color preferably, like, it's got to be in color because I have black and white printers. A color laser from the 90s you can still get supplies for. I don't know if that exists. The yellow is certainly not dry. I mean, it's getting me, it's getting my fingers yellow. I mean, all these are, you know, they're moist. Yeah, just not getting any yellow, not getting any black. Yellow I could understand. But the black, nah, that one's new and that is like flowing with ink. So yeah, this is with the same cartridges but the other holder again, just to make sure. And so look at this. Hard to see, but there is the faintest of yellow coming through on that one. Just the faintest. So ink is coming out of the cartridge. It's straight up this thing that is the problem. The BCI, or the BC21E. I mean, I could I could try to find another one. By the way, the Bird Feed LGR live stream is going each day over on the LGR Birds channel and now features a nest cam. And we've got a robin. She just laid a blue egg. So anyway, what I was going to say is even if I were to get new old stock ones, and there are plenty, they all come pre-installed with ink cartridges already in them. I mean, you saw how it was in the printer box. New old stock, this is just how they were from the factory. They had ink in them. I haven't actually seen a new old stock or unused, just the black magazine, the holder part on its own. They all have ink in there already, which means they're probably going to be suffering from the same issue of dried up ink. Like here's one, but you know, it's been used. Who knows if it actually works? Do I want to spend $36 on this thing that may or may not have the exact same issue as mine? The answer to that is heck no. So I'm here in the 3D printer room because it's already smelling like fumes anyway. And I'm going to try this old technique I found online of just soaking it in isopropyl alcohol overnight. I got nothing to lose at this point. All right, let's see what that does. I don't know. Who cares? All right, a couple days later, I just let them go overnight and then kind of forgot about them. And so they've been drying off for another overnight. But anyway, they are about as cleaned out as I think they're going to get. Let's try the slightly better condition one first. I'm seeing blue again. And yeah, cyan and magenta, same exact result as before. No black, no yellow. It's mostly the black that's concerning. I will try this other color cartridge here just to be sure, but, and this is the one I think we were only getting yellow out of. Yeah, exact same results or lack of results. I'm gonna go ahead and say this one's pretty much just too gunked up to save. What I mean, you know, I'll crack that one open just to see what's inside, but this is both new inks here, so We get even less color now. Well, now I just don't know. Like maybe these new ones are bad. Okay, these are the old ones. Yeah, you can see the individual holes there for black and your three colors. Oh, are you kidding me? All right, I mean, we're still not getting yellow, but there's plenty of ink in them. This is the black that wasn't working, and this other one is now. I am so confused and really annoyed and kind of fed up with it at this point. It is, you probably can't see it, but it's very clearly wet with yellow ink there. It is going through. It is just getting like clogged at this point. Well, if we can't print anything, can we scan anything? All right, got some software to archive if needed. The IS-22. Same general type of deal as this here, except obviously no ink. But yeah, same connection, but instead of an ink printer head, we've got a little scanner. Put it in there, lock it down. Oh, slide the paper thickness lever to the center. All right. Let's see what we got. So do we just like jam stuff in here? How do we do this? Seems weird. Place the image you wish to scan in the scanning holder. What is that? Oh, I missed this. There's a bunch of other stuff in here. Yeah, because all I saw in there was this. I just thought it was packaging, but yeah, we got some more paperwork. Okay, here's the sleeve, and I guess this is a calibration sheet. That doesn't tell me if it's doing anything properly or not over there. So once again, just great feedback from the software. So in the manual, it says to use this plastic sheet every time you scan anything and to not scan anything without it. And if you want to scan larger pieces, then you can buy optional scanning sleeves. That kind of limits what you can scan here. So I'm just trying to find something that would even fit, because even this is too big. Okay, yeah, here we go. How about the Linux version of SimCity 3000? That's bizarre. Feels like it's printing, but it's not. Oh, great. Cannot communicate with scanner. Check status. Scanner driver will be closed. Why did it say that? Of course this isn't going to work either, right? I hate everything. I hate you. I hate you so much. But why? That's all it tells me. What the dick? Well, what have we learned today, class? Absolutely nothing. I knew going into this that it was idiotic to break the #1 rule of vintage computer collecting, and that is never buy an old inkjet printer. Even if it looks basically brand new, and you got new cartridges for it and all, you know, I went against my better judgment. This is all a complete waste of time, and everything is stupid about this printer, and I don't recommend anything that I've done. Don't do any of this. Please learn from my boneheadedness. Don't do this. It's not worth it. Genuinely though, if you do know of like a good 90s laser printer, I really just want a color printer that's beige and looks era appropriate for 90s machines. So I can like demonstrate printable things in certain programs. Like for instance, when I had my SimCity 2000 retrospective, I was doing that and talking about like using the Urban Renewal Kit to create and print out cities. I wanted to do a demonstration of that, you know, showing like a 90s printer like this, printing out how I used to do back in the day. And I didn't have one on hand that was aesthetically suitable, at least that printed in color. So Now you might be wondering, what about your dot matrix color printer? Yeah, I do have that. The color right now is dried out and is gone. I think I might have one more color ribbon for that, but it's a dot matrix and it's not really era appropriate. I'm looking for something late 90s, but whatever. Maybe it might just be a pipe dream. It's such a crapshoot. I don't know why I'm filming at this weird angle. Anyway, if you're still watching, thanks, I guess. I hope that you enjoyed some part of my suffering or something. Let me know your awful printer memories if you got them, or perhaps you're lucky and you actually do have a very nice old color inkjet printer that still works and you can still get ink for it and it's great and wonderful. It's never given you issues. Let me know what model that is. That's all for this one. This is an LGR thing, I guess. Thanks for watching.